Hey everyone, happy Sunday. I hope you had a great weekend. Didn't get too wind blown out there. Definitely a lot of winds, but we just got done with our Fox 24 news at 9 on Sunday with Alex Engel. And we have a little time in between the 9 o'clock and the 10 o'clock, which is, of course, after Sunday night football. And so we've got a big system that's coming in, and I think it definitely deserves attention, and you need to know about it. And so I'm providing this little Facebook Live. And what a great weekend it was. Yesterday helped out the Northwest Arkansas Women's Shelter for what's called their Fresh Start event. It was really cool. It was a casino themed, like kind of the Monte Carlo, and everybody, dressed to the nines, and you didn't miss anything. We just started, by the way, Richard. So let's dive into it. I got the 8 ball too, so you can ask the 8 ball some questions. We're bringing the 8 ball out for this. So let's get right to it and show you what we've got on the model track. And rain is coming. I'm telling you, I'd be willing to bet the farm that rain is going to happen tomorrow. Now, maybe not so much 7 o'clock in the morning, but let's kind of get down to the timing. And if you have any questions, love to let you know about it and give you some answers the best I can. So, first of all, no rain tonight. Everything's pretty quiet. But as you can see, about 7 a.m., here comes the rain moving in. And look at Josh Rugger saying, let's go. That's exactly what he was doing as he was dropping down time travelers 90-degree drop, hopefully in the back row, so you could really drop down the drop sideways. He went to Silver Dollar City today, and hope he had a great time. Zach Gilday is back in town from a vacation. He'll be on KNWA today, 5 o'clock in the morning. He's charged and energized and ready to go. So let's move along here in time. Rain is coming. Now, the farther west you go, the earlier the rain happens. You can see this rain going from about noon all the way to 2 to 3 o'clock. And then watch this here, 5:30. So right around evening commute time. Severe weather threat is questionable. I don't think there's going to be major severe potential, but I think a storm or two could produce some damaging winds. I don't see much tornado potential. And when I say much, I say you can never say with this strong of a system with this type of wind shear that there will absolutely be no storms that rotate. Not a good idea to say that as a meteorologist, as you know, and as you viewers know about the weather. All right, so now we're moving along in time, and you'll notice that we still have that heavy rain continuing from about 7 to 8 o'clock, from about 5 to 8 o'clock in the evening. This is when the rain probably comes down the heaviest. This is when hydroplaning will be possible. Now, here's the deal. We are going to get heavy rain, not only because this is a strong system coming in, and you can tell by the winds, but we're also having the remnants of a tropical system, Roslyn, which is adding to the moisture that's coming through. And so now you can see this rain continuing to fall, training over the same area. Now there will be a break. One wave comes through. We get a brief lull in the precipitation, I believe, in the early morning hours on Tuesday, but then it ramps right back up as we get into our Tuesday morning. So, had a question on here. We need rain bad. Yes, I was just about to click on Tim Dennis's question. What about Tuesday morning, 8:35? I've got a doctor's appointment. I'm thinking there's going to be some rain, Tim. As you can tell, we do have some precipitation continuing, and there's going to be some wraparound. Now, there might be breaks depending on where you're at, but I do believe that there's going to be some rain around 8:30 with this wraparound of the low. So the low moves through, and it probably continues to rain all the way through about early afternoon. So, yeah, Josh, is there at least 40% chance of rain? Yeah, I went a little higher than that. We're going to do this. So clear by Wednesday. Yes, Ashley, you're good. You're camping at Horseshoe Bend. How bad will it get? So let me ask you this. Are you camping tonight? Because there's no problems tonight. If you're camping tomorrow night, that's going to be a little bit more rain. In Huntsville, sorry. Yes, I do believe 8:30 on Tuesday morning, you will have some rain. Rosalie asked this and says, lightning charged storms. And just to let you know, Rosalie, I do this every time, just so people know, and I educate. Lightning is not spelled with an E. So it's something that people commonly get wrong, but Lightning. Don't feel bad. A lot of people do it. I'm just educating you. And hey, we learn something new every day about the weather. So, hey, I was just about to turn on the TV for a weather update. Thank you for saving me from all the commercials. Well, it is that time of the year when we have elections that are happening. So, here's our weather headlines. We ran through that. We'll run through some other models, but this is what we've got. Widespread rain, bringing a heavy rain potential. There will be the potential for flash flooding in spots. I'll show you how much. I'm definitely not the grammar police because let me tell you something, Ryan. I get stuff wrong all the time. In fact, I'm talking and I'll say, is that a word? I don't even know if that's a word. And then I'll like combine some things. And then I'll say the improper English. So if you're pointing the finger, you can point it at me because I'm wrong quite often. More rain looks likely next week. Okay, all the grammar's proper on that. And like we said, there's another system coming in Friday. Now, the question is, does it linger into Saturday? That's too far out. There's a lot of uncertainty. One model, the European, has a cutoff low that brings a lot of rain, and the other one doesn't have as much. So, anyways, so that's what we've got. Well, Jacob, there's a 100% chance there won't be flash flood watches. Do you know why? Because there is actually no more such. There's improper English again. There is no such thing anymore, not a double negative, that flash flood watches are a thing. They call them flood watches and then they issue flash flood warnings. I still say flash flood watch to this day, but it's known as a flood watch. So there you go. All right, going back to our questions. There will be lightning, by the way. Lightning charged storms, absolutely. What did I say about tomorrow morning? It's going to rain. Now, tomorrow early morning, not so much, but later on throughout the day, it will continue to rain. Camping till Wednesday. I'm like I said, this isn't going to be major severe, but if you don't want to camp in the rain with lightning, there's definitely going to be some lightning with these storms. And so let me show you what we've got on the precipitation amounts. And then as we're doing this, we'll continue to go through some questions. The 8 Ball has been on vacation for a few months, but here it is right here, the trusty 8 Ball. So Josh said, we don't have a lot of instability, but what does the soundings look like tomorrow? Totally saturated, Josh, from the ground up. Precipitable waters are 1.5 to 1.75. Yeah, don't feel bad, Rosalie. It's fine. We all make mistakes, but now you know. There will be lightning. So Weather Geek question. We know the closer to the event, the better the models get. How far out generally are the temperature forecasts accurate? Temps and only asking temps. Well, we did an analysis, Kat, of our forecast, and we went out 7 days. And believe it or not, the error for 7 days with the high and low temperature was only less than 4 degrees. So I think with some accuracy, now it gets harder when you get stronger fronts coming in, but with some accuracy, we can get the temperature forecast right 5 to 7 days out. I think anything beyond that is throwing darts at a wall. And so I know there's a lot of stuff that goes 10 days out. There's a lot of stuff that goes out 14 days. I think it's a disservice because, number one, it gives you false hope if, you know, the weather is what it's going to be. Whether it would be a snowstorm, whether it would be rain, whether it would be no rain, and its system comes in. Will this system bring cold temperatures this week? Yeah. You know what? We're going to cover that. I'm going to go through the 7-day here in just a bit, Chris, as I always do. And so Wanda had that question that Rosalie asked about the lightning. There will be lightning, especially during the second half of the day. All right. These days, people are saying, oh, yeah, you're fine, instead of actually typing it. So will there be a chance for tornadoes? Very, very low because the surface-based instability just isn't there. You can say ain't all you want. Let's just hunker down and get her done. Yeah, you got it. What time will the rain hit Southwest Missouri, sir? That's going to be probably right around, I'm going to say around 9, 10 o'clock. And it could be earlier. Again, timing is one of the more difficult things. Let's look at the newest model. This updates every hour. And let's see what this has for precipitation. So see, it has these little, sometimes it looks like rain, but it's not. And so there's it got a little wave coming in. And so I think around 7, 8 o'clock, it's raining in the river valley. And by 8, 9 o'clock, it comes into northwest Arkansas. And I think by around 9 to 10 in the morning, it'll really start raining in southwest Missouri. And so this isn't even the heaviest of the stuff. This only, by the way, it goes out 18 hours. And so it stops right there at 12:30. Rain, answer to the prayers. That's right. In fact, check this out. This is the 7-day rain forecast, which really, honestly, not all of this is from Monday into Tuesday. There's another system that comes in Friday that will bring us some rain. So this is the 7-day precipitation forecast. I don't think all of this rain is just Monday and Tuesday. But what I did want to show you is we're going to show you the drought monitor as we overlay it with the areas that need the rain. So let's show you here. So here is, again, that precipitation forecast. And we look at eastern Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, and there's the drought. So we've got D3 and D4, extreme and exceptional drought. And that's why we need the rain in a major way. So we are getting it. It's coming. And by late morning, it's going to be raining. So let's go through the 7-day. In case you don't want to stay awake for the newscast tonight. But, we got a lot of stuff on the different poll agendas that are happening, and as well as the issues, as they call them. But here's Josh has some issues with the 8-ball. So this is our 7-day forecast, just to break it all down for you. You'll notice that, first of all, I've got the high and the low flipped. Here we go again. It's that time of the year. And you tell me, I would love to get your reaction. We got about 200 people watching this right now. Please let me know, does this help you? What does 62 over 46 mean? Or does it mean anything to you? I'm not going to explain it yet. I want you to tell me, does it make sense? And you can tell me, what does it mean? Let's just see if my thinking will be the same as yours and what I think you guys think. So 62, 46. What does this mean right here? Why would that be that way? And then you can see the rain, and then you can see the downward arrow. So please comment about that. And as you're doing that, I'm going to continue to answer some questions. Rain, Stacy says, what an answer to prayers. Yes. This will put an end to burn bans. Yep. I do believe so. The burn bans will be dropped. A lot of them. Me and the 8-ball have some things to sort out. You don't have the 8-ball power yet, Josh. So, man, this is great. I've been waiting for a rain run for a long time. Tuesday a.m. I don't think you're going to get your rain run tomorrow morning. Oh, David just said, what did the drought monitor look like? We just showed that. What's the possible total amounts of rain for the next 2 days? We were showing that. It's going to be around 2 to 4 plus. And Brody says the GOAT. Thank you, Brody. I appreciate that. Definitely not the GOAT, but there's a lot of people that are even more amazing. Yeah, Kat, that's a great question there. Okay, how about this one? Gene says, my daughter's driving back from KC. And was she at the game? I don't know. Was the game in Kansas City? No, it wasn't. Kansas City played. They play San Francisco. I can't remember. I don't know. But I think that was in San Francisco. So Kansas City. Yeah, she wasn't. Anyways, what's the best time on leave, or will she be in the midst of it all? So she leaves in the morning. She's better because the second half of the day, the rain gets heavier. What did Ollie Williams? Yeah, what did Ollie Williams say? He said, it's going to rain. That's exactly what it is. Can you explain the percentage probability of rain concept again? It's a great question. So what is the percent probability of precipitation? Well, there was a TikTok that went out not too long ago. Actually, it was a little long ago now. But let me show you this here. So this is the explanation. How does the probability of precipitation relate to the forecast? No, I don't want to show you that. I want to show you this. So here is the probability of precipitation. It's called a pop. Okay, Rosalie. And the likelihood that a measurable precipitation event at a location during a specific time period. So, number one, there's location. Number two, there is measurable precipitation. If it's a trace, it doesn't count. Trace is less than 1/100th of an inch, and it's the likelihood or the probability of that. Now, a lot of people just thought it was the amount of area covered, and that's not necessarily exactly correct. It's also the confidence on that precipitation developing times the percent of area affected. So another person said, if you had 100 weather systems that are like this, it would rain 100% of the time. That's a good explanation too. But that's not necessarily exactly how it goes. So let's ask you this here. It's quiz time. Rain is moving into a region and it'll cover 80% of the area. And I have 100% confidence in this forecast. What is that rain chance, everyone? Okay. We have to go back to the time on that. And so we got a lot of things, got a lot of comments on here. But what is that chance of rain? What would be the percentage that you would see if we're forecasting 80% of the area? And exactly. Brody says 80%, 80%, 80%. Bunch of smart people. That's right. Because you take 0.8 times 1 or 0.8 times 100, and you got 0.8, which is 80%. Exactly. So there is your percentage. All right, let's go for a little more difficult of a one. How about this one? Rain is moving into a region and it'll cover 40% of the area. However, you only have 50% confidence in this forecast. So what is that percentage? Now, there won't be a derecho, Jeanette. What would be that? Oh, look at you guys. David says 20%. And you know what? He's right. Because you take 0.4 times 0.5 and you get 0.2, which is 20%. All right. One more. Now we get a little more difficult. How about we got 70% of the area, but you have 80% confidence in that forecast? This is good. You guys are getting it. Although some of the people that hate math are like, peace, I'm out. I'm done. 56%. 56, 56, 50%, 56%. So now you're taking exactly the percentage. Taking the percentage. And so you would say 60%. Essentially a roundup. Yep, exactly. You don't say 56 by math, but probably bump up to 60%. So that is a probability of precipitation. So that kind of gives you an example. Now, how does that relate to the forecast? Because that doesn't make sense to you, right? I mean, some people it does, but they kind of like more of the equivalent area qualifier. So 60% is likely, and you've got the equivalent area qualifier is numerous. But then you've got 80 to 100%, which is definite. Okay, that's why I say it's going to rain, as Ollie Williams says. And where's your umbrella? 2 miles that way. All right, so widespread. I'm only good with certain algebra. Yeah, Jordan, I know you've been killing it with algebra. So widespread. So isolated, slight chance. And so there you go. No, we don't have the 10 o'clock news because we're going after Sunday night football. And so, hi, Garrett. All right. So let's go back to the 7-day, and hopefully that helps you out with all that stuff. So the confidence is a real key in the forecast. And that's why later on, aerial coverage might be around 100% for Friday next week or this week. But I don't have a lot of confidence on that system exactly happening. So let's get back to all right, let's see here. All right, here we go. I want to go back to that upside down. All right. Can you explain the weather relationship between weather front and arthritis? Yes, I can. So when a front comes through, you have low to high pressure. High pressure is behind a front. So your body is feeling the compression of the air, and that's why your bones ache right before a big low pressure drop, changing to high. That's when it's the worst. Now, after your body's adjusted to this for several days with high pressure, then your arthritis probably isn't hurting as much. So it's those very dramatic pressure drops and pressure rises that do that. Okay, so the high low flip means the high temperature occurs early on in the day. Exactly. You got it. Yes, high temperature occurs early on the day, dropping throughout the day. 62:46 does make sense. That's right. That's why we got the dropping temps. The high is overnight, drops throughout the day, or the high could be in the morning. Honestly, I think that high is kind of like 4 or 5 o'clock before the wraparound of the precipitation comes in, just like a winter storm when you get the wraparound of the system. Um, Starts warmer and drops during the day. All right. Well, then I think that is the way I'm going to show it. 62 at midnight. So sometimes it could be around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. We show you exactly when that temperature drop will occur. So if we go to this is the 2-day forecast timeline. You'll notice that we've got, and there you see it kind of dropping. So it goes, this is actually at midnight. Now the model wants to try to bring this back up, but I gotta drop that down a little bit more. Although it will get sunny after this system on Tuesday, but there's that high temperature potentially at 3, but honestly, I think it might be a little bit earlier than that. Drops throughout the day, easy to follow on the 7-day, 46, and then up to 62. That's right, makes perfect sense. Okay, good. How about this? Good question. How's the weather looking approximately Tuesday night? Fine. No problems Tuesday night, Jordan. Rain will be out here, but it will be cool. It will be very cool. Temperature is going to drop dramatically because if we go back to that 7-day, you'll see the downward arrow. And it looks like the Yankees just went up 5-4, bottom of the 6th. So here's the rest of that 7-day. 36 Wednesday morning. So Tuesday night's going to be cold. This wind has been battering my Halloween decorations. I can believe that. Let's go back to this full screen so you can see. No tsunami con. No, you don't have to mean that. Rick says starts at 62 midnight, drop throughout the day. Yep, that's right. That's right. Heavy on Wednesday morning. What do you mean by heavy? The rain will be long gone Wednesday morning. There might be some fog though, depending on how much sun we see. There might be some fog, and it'll be one of those cooler days. And so there's all the precip forecast. A lot of rain. Got a lot of comments on there, and so Chris says, "Yes, we're in a class, and the professor speaketh." Love how you really explain and give it to us. All right, so very cool, Rosalie. All right, so after the rain starts falling, the temperature would start to drop. Then once the cold front came through, the temperature would drop even more. That's right, Stephen. And let me illustrate this. So we're going to look at the 12-kilometer NAM, and you're going to see this precipitation coming through. Now, keep in mind, when Josh Rugger was doing the forecast on Saturday, this model barely had any precipitation. And you can still see how it has some showers, but notice that line of storms. Now, after that comes through, we're not done with the rain because we got another system that's moving in, and now the model finally shows that as well. Notice the spin. Can you see that upper level spin? Boy, you can see that really well. Now, as that comes through, by the way, that might be a type of system that could provide some cold air funnels. If the low moves right overhead, sometimes you get cold air aloft, and this will be the type of system that will have some cold air aloft, where some of these showers right here during the day could have what's called cold air funnels. They're funnels that extend down from essentially a cumulus congestus cloud Not necessarily a thunderstorm, but that could look like, they very rarely touch the ground and do any damage, but they will probably get a lot of photos and pictures if we, in fact, really do see that. And you don't need a whole lot of surface instability. You just need steep lapse rates. And I think we do have that. So going back, this is why the temperature drops because of that wraparound. And once the wraparound happens, it cools off. But there might be a little bit of sun that offsets that cooling, and then it starts warming again. But it's not going to be noticeable. I mean, it might get up into the low 50s, but the high is in the mid 60s. So that's why. Is A times Z equals DW. That's right. Will the sun ever explode? Some scientists believe that it will. How about this? A good Megadeth reference. I'll be angry again if we don't get at least an inch of rain at my house. Your record, your closest temp around. So you record your coldest temp around 6:30, 7:15. Brody, yes, but not all the time. And our coldest temperature will not be 6:30, 7:15 tomorrow. In fact, it'll actually be probably around midnight tomorrow night. So sometimes the temperature trends are a little tricky. When do you think the first snow will happen? Oh, Chris, that's a good question. So we're going to go with first snow. I'm going to go early this time. I'm going to say early December. I'm going early December. This is just a straight up guess. But considering the active weather pattern, I'm saying early December. Okay, how about this here? Josh Rugger, the Rugger bubble, where it misses you. Actually, he does pretty well. It's Colby Ward that really has the bubble around him. Dan, you do what so many meteorologists don't do. Oh, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. All right, what's the record earliest snow? Boy, that's a good question, Bradley. Could we get close to this? You know what? Let me look this up. This might take some time, and I actually don't know this off the top of my head. I know there was a snow in late October. I know there was the latest snow was May 3rd of 2013. I remember that because that was, which by the way, remember that dip, May 3rd, 2013, when we had snow? A few days later, May 20th, you got a massive tornado outbreak that was in Oklahoma. And then you had the El Reno tornado shortly after that. So you got to look at those drops and rises with the extremes. So first and last dates, here we go. Snowfall. And we're going to say greater than 32. No. Greater than 0.1. Beginning, and we're going to calendar year, go to station selected. I'm just going to do this for Fayetteville because all the other records really aren't kept very well. So the earliest snowfall ever recorded was October. Look at that. October 29th of 1993. That was the earliest. 93. And I do believe that was during a Razorback game. October 29th, 1993. Let's see here. 93, 94 Razorback season. Let's look at the schedule. No. I don't want. That's the wrong. That's basketball. They're going basketball, so I want to go football. I want to say that was a football game. All right, let's see here. So October 30th. Okay, so there was still snow on the ground, but that was against Auburn. And 50,000 in attendance. We did lose that game, but I do remember 1993 was a cold year. So there it is. So it snowed pretty, but that's your answer right there, Bradley. Okay. Refer to the Farmer's Almanac. So for winter, all right, football tomorrow night in Greenwood. What can we expect around 7, Debbie? So here's what you can expect around 7 in Greenwood. 100% chance of rain. It's just going to be super widespread. And let me show you this. I mean, we can go through every model here. We'll just do that. I'll go through every future track and I'll show you why why the confidence is so good on receiving rain. So here is Monday, 7 o'clock. Maybe it moves out in time. I doubt it. I think that's moving out way too fast. Typically, the graph moves out too quick. But there's Monday 7. Okay, we'll look at the European model. So here's the European. Might take a little while to load. So let's go to 7 o'clock. Yeah, that looks pretty heavy right there. And that's a lower resolution model, so that's got a ton. Let's look at the NAM. We'll look at the HRRR. So this is the high resolution. All right, so let me get this off of there here. So you can see we don't have Greenwood labeled on there, but you get the idea. We can zoom in. So yeah, there you go, right there. Some rain coming in right around 7 o'clock. So very likely that it rains. And the ICAST data for the River Valley. I mean, you got rain coming. That one's a little fast. Let's look at the NAM. This is the NAM 3 kilometer. And so look at all that rain coming in at 7 o'clock. That's when the bulk of the system comes in. And finally, one more, the NAM. So this is a little lower resolution, but you get the idea. It's going to rain. So, all right. Feel like spring is going to be active. That's right. So the winter. So good question about that. So for us, for winter, what system sets up for an ice storm? When we have dramatic temperature rises and drops, and you have La Nina is more for ice storms. El Nino is not, because the subtropical jet doesn't allow the rapid fluctuations in temperatures. In fact, El Nino winters are very mild. Is that when a twister hit the Armory on the First Street in Rogers? No. That was October 13th of 2012, Roby. And that was when Kentucky was playing the Razorback game. And so let me make sure that I am right. I'm pretty sure I am. October 13th, 2012 was, in fact, a Saturday. Yep, October 13th, 2012 is when it hit the Armory. Yeah, October 29th was on a Friday, but there was still snow on the ground for that Razorback game on that Saturday. Weather savant. We drove to Siloam in heavy snow for a high school football game. Wow, cool. So you were here in 93. Is severe weather happening tomorrow? I didn't even touch that. I've been going off on so many tangents. So here's a look at the Weather Prediction Center flooding threat. And you'll see scattered flash floods, mainly Monday afternoon through Tuesday morning. And you can see that's a level 2 out of 4. So it's a very large level 2 out of 4. And this could be bumped up to a moderate. And then the severe weather risk, it's there, but it's not substantial. So the instability is lacking, but enough where there'll be thunderstorms. There is a slight risk in southwest Arkansas and southeast Oklahoma. This is mainly for damaging winds and large hail potential, but that is on the lower end. So if we look at this, the day 2 hail threat and the day 2 wind threat, and if we look at the tornado threat, it's basically non-existent. So there's no tornado threat, except maybe a little bit farther south, where the surface-based instability is a little bit better. Is the weather going to be bad in Western Grove? You don't really have to get worried about this. If you're doing traveling and you're driving at night, you want to be cautious of some runoff and some flooded roadways, but kind of all that. Definitely got to watch out for that. All right, let's get to some 8-ball stuff, and you let me know what question you want me to ask the 8-ball, and let's see if I missed any questions here. Someone asked about will I ever talk about the persimmons on what we are going to expect this year? So, believe it or not, I was supposed to get some persimmons last Thursday. It didn't happen. The deer are apparently running rampant, and the persimmons were gone. So, the persimmons that I usually get from the area of the Winslow area, Frayed Knot Farms, basically the persimmons were gone. But I did find some more, and stay tuned this week. I'll give you an update on when we do it, and I will be doing that winter forecast. I typically do it the last week in October. That's kind of like my, I know probably other people will do it before me. That's fine. I don't care. But I'm going to be talking about it this week for sure. Going to be by Thursday, most likely Wednesday or Thursday, one of those days that I'll be doing the winter forecast, probably Thursday night. All righty. Josh is like not happy with the 8-ball. 8-ball toys with him. How about this? I want to say there was a chance of snow for the Arkansas-Mississippi State game. So it was cold, but it was no systems moving in. There was no precipitation, Drew, but it was cold. I was out there, but it was a fun game. I really liked that game. But yes, it was cold. All right. How bad might the upcoming winter be? I think it's going to be above average, but I don't think it's going to be substantial. All right. Let's look at some 8-ball questions here. Will we get a snow in early November? Oh, man. We won't get early November snow. I think we get severe weather. We have another system coming in at the end of the forecast period in early November that looks like it does have the instability that returns, and it does have the energy. And with this type of zonal weather pattern and the warm weather in the Gulf of Mexico now back open for business, I think we're going to see something. But I'll ask it. 8-ball, will we get snow in early November in our area, Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley? Cannot predict now. Well, very hopeful. We'll go over that. Let's see. Ask the 8-ball. When am I going to get sleep sometime soon? That's a good question. And the answer is without a doubt. All right. Well, that's because I'm going to bed tonight. Ooh, that's a good question. 8-ball, will we have a white Christmas? It's been a long time since we've seen a white Christmas. The last one, 2009 for our area. Now, there was a white Christmas in 2012 in Central Arkansas. Josh, you know all about that. You can comment about that one. But will we get a white Christmas for our area? And the answer is, as I see it, yes. Oh, all right. Josh wants to know, is there going to be over an inch of rain at my house in Bella Vista? And you're talking about Monday, Tuesday, both days. Yeah, it says cannot predict now. It doesn't like you, Josh. I'll try it one more time. Will Josh get over an inch of rain at his house over the next 2 days? As I see it, yes. All right. Well, it predicted, and then we gave it a little love tap. How much snow will we get? It doesn't have inches on there, so Garrett, that's not going to work. Look at this guy, Mark, bringing out the PNA. Look at that Pacific. We're talking about an oscillation. So, do you think that the positive PNA in the West will stick around? Or we could have a warm December like last year. Remember, we had a warm December, but remember, everything went downhill big time. So it was absolutely crazy with that. And so that's a good question. That's a little bit more in depth, like when we're talking about that. But I don't think so. I think we're going to flip the script in November, and it's going to get a lot colder. Until then, though, we're going to have severe weather potential in early November. But Pacific North American pattern is what he's talking about with PNA. So Pacific, it basically, if there's a positive PNA, it's very warm. If it's a negative PNA, and it essentially drops with the different teleconnections. So let's see here. Play golf with your 8-ball with your forecast is all we need. Yep. Honestly, we're just doing this all for fun, but it is kind of cool. Brett, yeah, you're welcome about that, about the ISS. That was a really cool flyby, and it was a really good time, and the weather was great, and so all that stuff. How about that? That was the greatest day of my life as a young forecaster, Dan. Yeah. That big storm system. By the way, you should see some of Josh's old videos, man. This guy was made for it. No more minus 15 winters. That's a good one, Chris. Will the Hogs beat Auburn this year? I think so. Let's see what it says. Oh. He doesn't know. It says my reply is no. The Hogs won't beat Auburn. Well, remember you all, 8-Ball. If you're wrong, we're going to oust you. 25 is cold enough. Of course the Hogs will beat Auburn. I know. 8-Ball doesn't think so. Maybe I just throw it against the wall. Crack it open. All good. Lost the 8-Ball. Will I be able to Met internship in the spring? Yeah, I think the Hogs will win. Unless we get injuries, hopefully not. Maybe it's knowing something we don't. Will I be able to get my Met internship in the spring? Brody, possibly. Just got to make that happen. Hogs by 90. All right. Does anybody have any weather questions? We gave the 8-Ball enough trouble today. But does anybody have any weather questions? Because I've got to wrap this up, and we're getting ready for a newscast here pretty soon. Oh, they just screwed up that play. Wow. This game's pretty good, by the way. The Astros, Yankees. Snow soon? No snow. In fact, it's going to be warm and thunderstormish. And let me show you why here. We'll give you the hint at that. Let me give you this jet stream map and show you why, first of all, number one, why we're getting this big system coming in. And so here's a look at the jet stream. And this is the big dip in the jet stream, along with the tropical moisture that's coming in from Roslyn. And then you can see that's a large trough. Strong enough shear where I think we could see severe weather potential in the river valley, but not major, just maybe a few storms. Then that system swings in, and there's where we could get the cold air funnels as that cold core low passes right overhead. Then you'll notice another system coming in, and this becomes, watch this, a cutoff low. I got to expand this all out. So here comes the cutoff low. What does a cutoff low mean? Well, it means the jet stream splits. So we have, pause it right here, and I'll show you what I mean. So right in here, we got this strong jet core right here that's going to push this, clip this off. This low remains, and so it just kind of meanders. This is not what you want over my daughter's birthday weekend if we're having an outdoor party, because that right there has a huge system that just kind of sits and spins, but it's all dependent on if, in fact, it does become cut off. The European does show that, and then look at, here's that system in early November. This is what I was talking about as that system comes in. And then just beyond the scope, we got another big dip in the jet stream where this polar jet is pretty active. And so you're going to see that big dip in the jet stream move in. And so that could lead to some severe weather potential. Now, if we look at the GFS forecast, the GFS is totally different. Not tomorrow and not Tuesday, but there's a look at the system rolling through. And then it's pretty much right on point and pretty much similar. But now watch. So here's this positively tilted trough. It does break off this cutoff low, but then at that point, it kind of drifts it southward, and it doesn't have as much precipitation. But then it has another wave of energy. Now it gets pretty warm, and I don't know if I necessarily believe that. But either way, there's going to be a lot of stuff. Polar vortex is very wobbly this year. Yeah, I could bring some cold stuff. Kat says thunder sleet, crazy, but kind of cool at the same time. So Kat, I don't know if you know this or not, but just to let you know, my Emmy Award nomination ceremony is this Saturday. And in fact, one of the things that I did was the thunder sleet storm that happened in February of this year when we had those isolated supercells. Craziest thing we've ever seen. And so I talked about it the night before, and then I showed that in that forecast, and I kind of went through everything on why that thunder sleet happened because it was all about the instability and the shear too. Those are supercells. It was a crazy day, and that's what I nominated for best weathercast was that, and I got nominated, or that's what I put in as a submission as an entry, and I did get nominated. And I find out Saturday if I win. I don't think I will, but there's a lot of really good competition, a lot of great pieces, and so we'll see what happens. I won last year for the White Christmas, but we'll see what happens. Good night, Josh. Hopefully, no symphony destruction on Sunday Night Football tonight. I actually don't know what's going on with the game, but someone just commented about NFL game right now is like 2 5th-grade teams playing. Yeah, definitely not like the 72 Dolphins, huh, when they went undefeated. Baja Blast, that's right. Still love those as well. Okay, guys. Well, we still got 80 people. I'll go till 50 minutes. So I'll go another 2 minutes or so. If you have any questions, let me know. And kind of broke everything down for you. But yeah, we'll be doing a winter forecast update Wednesday or Thursday of this week. And I'll keep you updated. I don't know. Ice Storm 2009 was the craziest thing, however. Well, I mean, I don't think the thunder sleet was the craziest thing, but it was the craziest thing in the time that I had to submit for Emmys. So, where do you start looking 2 weeks out for weather forecasts? Alaskan Islands. Yeah, the Aleutian Islands. That's right. Actually, you have to look even farther than that if it's a progressive weather pattern. You have to look all the way out into basically the Western Pacific. So, let me show you what we got here. I'll have to load up the global water vapor, but we have to go all the way out here. And see, this only goes out there, but like, look, this is the system coming in. Most likely, that system in the middle is the one that's coming in Friday. So it's going to ride up and over the ridge and then drop down. Or that could be, in fact, let's see. Nope. Okay, so this is the system coming in on tomorrow. You can see it right here. Look at the energy coming in. Oh, yeah, we'll get rain. We'll get rain by late morning. You can see it right here, which, by the way, the models do a terrible job, an absolute terrible job with this type of energy coming in from Baja. So you can see it right here. There's the water vapor. There's the system coming in, and there's the system coming through Cat. And so when that moves north, there's the tropical moisture that's working its way north. And you can see it doesn't have as much of an influence, but that was Roslyn kind of getting absorbed a little bit. The heavier rain will be a little farther south. But regardless, there's a system coming through. And then here's the one that comes in tomorrow afternoon. So that brings the additional heavier rain. And then the one that comes in on Tuesday is this one right up here that's just north of Vancouver that's dropping south. You can see that energy that's going to be dropping in. And then we got this next system over here. And what's fun, what I like doing too, Kat, is I like going back in time. So we saw like a system develop, Kat, and what we do is we go back in time 2 weeks. I can go about 10 days back on the water vapor, and I can look at that. So that's interesting. NATO Cast on Twitter just released a new update. Let me show you what that has. And that does have a low. Stand by. Wouldn't doubt it because KSRX is down. Well, it's not down because of maintenance. It's not down because of being repaired, but it's down because they're doing maintenance. They're actually upgrading the radar, but they're doing that tomorrow, starting tomorrow. So that's a good point. If you have any type of weather app like Radar Scope or Radar Omega, and you're looking at individual radars, that won't be working so well. So here's the brand new NATO cast that came out. This does pretty well. And you can see Western Arkansas having a little bit of a lower end tornado threat. And this is according to the HREV 0Z models. So something to watch. That's basically the afternoon tomorrow through the afternoon of Tuesday. Big greater threat in northeast Oklahoma. So that's why when we say, yeah, the tornado threat isn't great, but it's not zero. Not zero is just a meteorologist's way of saying, well, we can't say a tornado is happening for sure, but there's a lower end chance. So what was the deal with no birds and crickets everywhere? I don't know, Becky. I know the winds, probably the birds aren't doing that. I know. The Springdale tornado I was a little concerned about the night before. The shear was there, everything was there. The low level instability was there too with the Springdale tornado. But yeah, you're right. You cannot let your guard down. Okay, speaking of that, I got to run because we're starting up the newscast. So take care, guys. Have a good one. And thanks for watching. Enjoy the rain tomorrow. Be safe. And if you want to watch the news and get a little bit more of the weather, then tune in. But until then, have a great rest of your Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow and be safe. God bless.